I really love it. This is like a ritual for me. I get very close to my food. I love my machine.
Recently retired university professor Sirena Pellarolo now has more time to dedicate to what she calls her passion, sharing her knowledge of raw and living foods with low-income communities of color. Her outreach began when she decided to bring her juicer along to a May Day protest at MacArthur Park in 2008.
The children came for seconds. There were homeless people who were around there and they wanted juice. They all loved it. And so I realized that these juices had tapped into something very primal in people.
Juicing, fermenting, sprouting, and dehydrating is what Sirena teaches at her free community demos like this one in South LA. More than essential for good health, Sirena says raw living food is a way for low-income communities to start on a path toward economic liberation.
The whole idea of teaching, of sharing all this information is for people to use these methods of preparing raw food themselves so they don't depend on going to the store and paying so much money because it's a trendy thing.
A prime example of a low-income community is South LA, where less than 10% of LA County's population resides. However, South LA has more minorities, minors, and families living below the poverty line than other parts of LA County. Additionally, a fast food ban preventing new restaurants from opening in the area was implemented by the LA City Council in late 2010. The council estimated nearly 1,000 fast food restaurants exist within about 30 square miles. Sirena is not the only one passionate about bringing food education to communities like South LA.
And I grew up in, Echo Park, South Central, and the East Side. So I feel that those are the communities that usually don't get this information. They either don't get it from their own physician or from schools or other organizations.
Nrgy Gonzalez, also known as Nrgy, does outreach as well. She writes a food blog, creates recipes, and shares everything she's learned from her father, a vegan chef.
I just puree the bananas and added the carob and
Cacao?
no, just carob.
It's actually corn tortillas. This is ceviche made with cauliflower and rábano, onion, garlic, cilantro, red pepper, veggie burgers with the pulp of the juice, sprouted lentils, flaxseed, spices. This is a salad made with a lot of veggies from the South Central farm because I staff their stand at the farmers market on Fridays.
According to a study conducted by the Vegetarian Times, less than 1% of Americans are vegan, 3.2% are vegetarian, 10% say they follow a mostly plant-based diet, and 5.2% are very interested in transitioning to a more plant-based diet. For those who are very interested, Nrgy has some advice.
Don't be so hard on yourself. Show yourself compassion and understand that the reason you're having a hard time is because you do have an addiction to some of these foods.
I think that this era of the processed, commercialized food is really over, and even commercial agriculture. I mean, that's so much of the past. I think that this is a whole revolution of how, even economic revolution, because if we all start having a veggie garden in our backyard, we will need less and less of those supermarkets, and we will be more self-sufficient economically, and that will mean more freedom.
Regardless of what the future may hold for food, what can be said is that it will be greatly determined by the palates of today's children, including these two from South LA.
It was too nasty a little bit, but it was good. It make my face clear, and I just like it.
So you would drink it again?
Yes.
Reporting from Los Angeles, I'm Julissa Reyes.